Spencer, a goal for each of the players on the Canadiens' first line last night. What do you guys need to do better against them on Sunday?
Bunch of stuff. I don't think it's one specific thing. I think it's a group effort. I think it's a bunch of different things, from making them have to defend, doing a better job of limiting transition opportunities, which they had multiple of, limiting their ozone time, which they had a bunch of. So it'll be a lot of that. There's some matchup stuff related in there. He's looking for a certain matchup to try to get them out against Strome's line, and so they have to be able to handle those minutes, because inevitably with last change, he's going to be able to find certain situations to get them out against Strome and O. So we're going to have to be able to handle that when we don't get to pick the matchup.
Coach, you explained a few things here, but Montreal wanted to extend good moments in a game. To what point was it them that were able to do that, and maybe your team that wasn't executing enough what you were looking for?
Well, last night it was minute 1 to basically minute 60, so it would be they executed or got exactly what they wanted. I mean, yeah, but I could slice it in 100 different ways and beat up all the things that I went through last night and this morning. At the end of the day, we didn't play very well at all, and we lost the game on the road, game 3. And we'll look at some things inside of that, the real important things of why that went on and what gave us issues, and focus on game 4.
Spencer, do you have an update on Logan?
I don't. I'll get an update later on today from our training staff.
Both teams lost their starting goalies last night. If they're not able to play as the series goes on, just what kind of impact can that have on the series?
Next man up for us. I won't comment on their situation, but it'll be next man up for us. And we know Chucky Lindgren, and he's done a great job. He's a great goaltender. So, yeah, there's no concern there of our group having a letdown or from our staff having a lack of confidence. We've got 2 great guys.
Spencer, just having been in that atmosphere last night from the bench, from your vantage point, there's a certain part of you, of course, you want your team to play a certain way, but is there a certain part of you that puts yourself in the shoes of the guys that are going through that, and it becomes more easy to understand where that game fell away from you?
Like struggling through that, or like struggling to play in that environment?
Handling that environment,
yeah,
and needing to feel it.
For sure. And it's a totally, for me as a head coach, not to recognize the difficulties of playing in that environment would be naive and silly of me. And that is something that you have to understand, and I have to understand, that there's going to be significant challenges playing on the road in an environment like the Bell Center against a hungry team that's down 2-0 that you know is going to fight with everything they've got to prevent going down 3-0. So understanding that is important from in my shoes, and now we have to work our way through that and find ways to combat that. So then part of that I put on myself is finding the structure, the X's and O's, and the tactical part is how can I help us work through the anxiousness, the crowd noise, the not having last change, all the things that go into it, playing in a difficult environment. And then the other part is trying to make our players feel as confident as possible and make it as normal as possible and be able to be successful in a difficult environment. And that's why I mentioned yesterday of our success on the road, because there's no replication of what went on last night in the regular season through 82 games. There's just not. But there are a ton of similar situations on the road, not to that degree, that prepare you for this moment. And you want to, and us being successful in those moments should give us confidence to be able to play in this environment. Again, not to this degree, but going on the road in Toronto, playing very, very well at Scotiabank Center, beating them on without having last change, all the stuff that goes into it, should give us confidence. Going into Vegas, winning in a difficult place to play, should give our guys confidence to be able to execute through that and be able to play well in an environment like it is here.
How can you guys go about generating not just more puck possession time in the O zone, but from your top 6, and to maximize that time with some finishing results?
Well, I think it's a loaded question. There's a lot of different things that we could do. Once we get there, okay, so let's just stay there. Let's remove us moving the puck into their zone. Once we get there, being able to stay there is us being able to do a good job of supporting one another, making good decisions with the puck. Like I thought some of our decisions last night were very, very sloppy. Like once you get down in the offensive zone, it's on us to make sure that if we're going to make a play into the scoring area, it's a high percentage player. It's a play that we can complete. I thought we threw a ton of pucks away in those situations. So there's one example. There's puck recoveries. There's all sorts of different stuff that we have to do a better job of staying there. But I also would say that there's those other two zones of getting to that point. That was an issue for us as well, of just even getting to that point that you're talking about of sustaining pressure and getting in the offensive zone. And our top six didn't have a good night last night, and that's, for them to get back into being able to exactly what you just said, like they did in Game 1 and Game 2, is going to be key tomorrow night.
Just quickly on Protas, do you have any anticipation of him joining the lineup tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean he's full go in practice, so we'll just see tomorrow. Everything's looking good. He's out there taking contact and that, so we'll just see tomorrow.
Yeah.
Quick one. During the warm-up, Albert Jacquet was talking with Brendan Duhaime. He was talking with Tom Wilson also. Will you say that maybe your players need to be more careful with their emotion? And was there any difference with Jacquet being in the lineup compared to the first two games?
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like this. Our team, part of what makes us successful and why we've had so much success this year is because we're an emotionally invested team. Every single night, every single day in practice, every single video session, we are an emotionally invested team. So you're going to get a fiery group, competitive every single day. That's what I'm around. That's what I see. That's who we are as a team. So you can't push that to the side and not be yourself. There is a line to that, and that's where I felt like we have to be able to stay in the moment and reffing, opposing players, all the extracurriculars that go on in a intense playoff hockey game. You have to ride a line there, and you got to be emotional. You got to be invested. You've got to be, but you don't want to go over the line. And I felt like at points we did a good job with that, and at other points we didn't. We took some penalties that we don't normally take, and so that's my first cue. I see that's interesting. We don't normally do that. So it just tells we're a little bit off in some certain situations. The things boiling over in that's I don't have an issue with that. That's just two competitive teams, and guys want to win so desperately, and they're laying it out there on the line. So I got no issues with that. But yeah, we'll be better emotionally of riding the line tomorrow night, of being emotionally invested, but also not going over the line.